Hi, so I'm a physician assistant, not certified yet though, which means I've graduated from an provisionally accredited program, but I have not yet taken the PANCE. My PANCE date is a week from today. What is the PANCE? If you don't know, it's the national certifying exam that all physician assistants must take and pass in order to actually be able to practice. So you can have a job lined up after you graduate, you can have everything else lined up, but you can't get your state licensing without passing the exam, and then you eventually won't be able to practice. So it's one of those things where you want to do it pretty soon after you graduate. My graduation date was December 13th, so I wasn't able to take any of the December tests. The first exam of 2026 is tomorrow, January 2nd, but I knew that I would be busy around the holidays, so I had signed up for the January 8th one to give myself that extra week, and let me tell you, I'm so glad that I did. Now, I've had a 3-month long, very drawn out, slow and steady studying pace. There's so many different studying paces that you can go at, and different people will tell you different things. I know people who graduated with me who are not even studying yet, and they're not taking the test until February, March timeframe. And that was more of a personal decision for them, that they wanted to graduate and enjoy the holidays, and one of them in particular was getting married. So you want to make sure that you pick a test date that works for you. Think about other obligations that you have, but you also don't want to wait too long, because if you wait, there's too much of a gap and you'll start losing the knowledge, because the best thing for your success on the test is what you've already done. In didactic year, that whole year was preparing you, whether you realized or not. All your EORs that you were taking during clinical year, those were really great measures. And then other exams like the PACRAT and the EOC, which helped kind of gauge and see where you were at. What am I doing in this final stretch, 1 week until my test date? So the first and by far the most helpful thing that I have done is, and you're probably expecting this, PANCE Prep Pearls. So I don't know how I didn't realize that there were 2 books until 2 months into my study plan, because I started back in October and I was slowly reading through. I was still on my last rotation, and then I finally realized, I'm like, wait, why is this book missing topics? And then it clicked that there was a book B. So just so that y'all know, if you didn't, I read through all of book A, and I just highlighted, I flagged pages that I maybe wanted to look back at right before the exam to refresh my memory. So I'm gonna do that in a few days, a little bit closer to my exam date. And then for book A, I went through and I literally handwritten notes on pretty much everything from PANCE Prep Pearls. So I could read through that again if I wanted to, and eventually going to use this again when I'm studying in the future for the PANRE. There's 134 pages of handwritten notes here. So as you can imagine, that's why I had to do more of a longer drawn out study plan. With book B, which I'm about halfway through, I'm going to finish this in the next few days. That is I need to do it kind of thing. This one, I honestly was not able to do the handwritten notes because it was just taking me way too long. It would take me 20 minutes per page. I'm not even kidding. I'm so slow. So I'm just doing flashcards with book B, and with other things that I've picked up from questions, things that I was frequently missing. I made some flashcards. Let's just say preeclampsia, for example, preeclampsia diagnostic features or preeclampsia treatment. That's something that maybe you want to touch back on, or a category itself. Ortho is always a struggle category for me, so that's one that I knew that I needed to go back and spend more time on. Another thing that I'm doing this week is, since I still want to be working out, moving my body, I'm going back and listening to all of Cram the Pants podcast, like YouTube videos. So while I'm working out, I've been putting him on, and thank you, Scott Shapiro, you're amazing. We love you. I speak for all my PA classmates when I say this, but that has really been helpful too, because I listened to all those podcasts in didactic year for the first time, like as we would go through the systems, and that really helped. But I hadn't really listened to them again during clinical year, so now I'm kind of like refreshing on that knowledge. And then another thing, this goes along with PANCE Prep Pearls. Yes, we also love you, Dwayne. Thank you so much for your books, for your question book. I bought this off Amazon, definitely recommend. It's a question book, and he has imaging, he has EKGs, as you can see, and then it goes through the answer choices. And I had been going through this with a friend. She moved after graduation, so we can't meet up in person, and she's actually taking her test tomorrow, so good luck to those taking it tomorrow if you're watching it. But this has been really helpful, so good investment. I highly recommend. As far as like what else I'll be doing, I have a UWorld subscription that I share with my friend, and it expires the 5th, so I'm just gonna try and keep working through, like cycling through, because I did a lot of those questions when I was studying for EORs, but now I need to go back and see like what did I miss, and just make sure like keep cycling through those. And then when that expires, those last few days before the test, I'm gonna go back and look at Rosh questions. It's not called Rosh anymore though, it's called Blueprint. So I'm gonna look at the Blueprint questions that I missed from EOR exams. And I think really that should be like the bulk of it. So far, it has felt very effective. It has felt very productive. So that's why I'm like feeling confident. I mean, still very nervous, because who wouldn't be? It's a big test, but just wanted to come on here and say this. Good luck to everyone who's taking it tomorrow and in 2026. Y'all got this.